Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of the X Factor Sports Talk. This time, we're talking about the Summer League. It just happened. We saw some standouts. We saw some underperformers. We saw some top 5 picks that flourished. But first of all, as always, I'm joined by my crew, my man Troy, my man Caleb. Boys, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Caleb, how are you? I love the new mic, man. You're looking.
I feel legit now.
You sound legit. I mean, my goodness.
It's crispy, baby. Crispy.
I'm hearing a whole new side of Caleb over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just super excited. I mean, we did a ton of lives throughout the week with Summer League. So now just to kind of put it all together, wrap a bow on top of what was Summer League and how awesome that week is.
Hopefully I'm a little sad it's over.
So to say, hopefully one week we'll be able to be down there and maybe analyzing some guys, but that'd be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just excited for this video, man.
Yeah, so we'll jump right into it, man. We'll start with the standouts of the Summer League. I think we each have 4 or 5 that we're going to go through. A couple of mine we're going to talk about the first team, so a couple of mine are off there. But Troy, let's start with you, man. What is one guy that stood out to you? Doesn't have to be in a particular order, but just any guy that's on your list.
I got a pretty obvious one. So obviously, if you look behind me, I'm a Laker fan. So I believe that one huge standout in Summer League was Cole Swider, an undrafted player that came into Summer League on a 2-way contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. He played at 2 very, very good programs in Villanova and Syracuse. But enough about that. We're wanting to know what he did in Summer League. He shot 50% from 3 on almost nearly 8 attempts. My man shot 7.8 attempts a game and was 50% from 3. His last game of Summer League left just an absolute impression on me. We did a live stream for it, or I did. And he had 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 of 11 from 3, 8 of 15 from the field. I believe he's the best shooter in the class, and he's posted a ton of videos where he's working out, and he's proclaiming that. He's like, I'm the best shooter in this class. Everybody needs to know. And that's what I love about a shooter, man. You got to trust your gym.
Got to have that confidence.
And he has it, man. He's 23 years old. And just to kind of overall wrap up his Summer League, he averaged 15.5 points and 4.5 rebounds. So a little disappointing on the rebounds, but he's 6'9". He has the length. He has the athleticism. And just as a 2-way guy coming into Summer League, shooting 50% from 3. And then whenever you look at the current Laker roster and they have nobody that shot over like 35% from 3, it's like this guy can literally step right in and be their best shooter, not even close. So I think Cole Swider really, really just stole the show for me as a Laker fan and just as a Summer League basketball fan. And if you haven't already, go on YouTube and watch this man's highlights against UNC last year. At UNC, he had 36 points and shot 7 of 11 from downtown, 14 of 21 from the field. So if you haven't already, go view that one and just enjoy. But yeah, that was my first standout. So, I mean, an obvious one, little homer pick, maybe, but I love Cole.
I don't know if maybe. Probably definitely not maybe.
That's okay, man.
Yeah.
They're just all Lakers. They're like, hey, next one we have
Sharife O'Neal.
Max Christie.
What about you, Caleb, man? Where are you going here?
So Troy went with an undrafted guy. I'm going to go with a guy that was picked pretty high, but it's Bennedict Mathurin, and we'll talk about him probably a little bit later too.
Yeah.
But 19.3 points, 4 rebounds, only 1.3 assists, and 0.7 turnovers a game. And I think that really stood out to me is if a guy that's having the ball that much, not turn the ball over. I mean, granted, he's not really – doesn't look like he's dishing it out a whole lot either, but nonetheless, 48% from the field, 38.5% from 3, and 76% from the free throw line. So you want to see that free throw obviously go up. But I think other than that, the shooting splits are pretty good. But what stood out to me is – and I coach basketball, so I definitely want to try to reiterate this to my guys is when he had the ball, there was no wasted movement like at all. Like he got it. He was going right to a move, trying to get to the cup or trying to get to the spot to raise up. It wasn't standing around dribbling like Troy, the game we watched, that guy on the Trailblazers, I don't remember his name, came off the bench where you literally called him out halfway through the game. Like he's just dribbling around doing nothing. You see that a lot now. And it's from what I saw, I mean, he's quick, he's explosive. I mean, he was no time wasted at all. And I think that's very important, especially in the league where you're a rookie. And, you're not going to be the most skilled guy out there, but you have to go out there and get to your spot and get there quick. No wasted movement at all. And that's what I saw out of him. That really stood out.
I love that. Fred, you've been dishing it off to both of us. Who's one standout from you?
Man, I'm gonna start with a guy I really enjoyed watching at Iowa State. He's not a rookie this year. He's been in the league for floating around G League stuff like that. I'm going with Milwaukee Bucks. Lindell Wigginton. In 5 games in the summer league, man, he played 25 minutes. He averaged 18 points, and here his shooting splits is what really stood out to me. Combo guard, I could see him more as a tall one, 54% from the field on a high attempt rate, with 46 from deep, and also averaged 5 assists a game. I mean, Milwaukee, great pickup. He played in a few games last year. Like I said, Iowa State, this kid was electric. He was a former top 50 recruit. Like, this kid's, I think, can maybe make his way into a bench role for them. And I think he could either play that 2 or 1 position. So just a kind of a weirdo that really stood out to me and watched a little bit, because I love his length and I love his athleticism and mix of that. And his shooting splits were incredible.
I love that. I think, yeah. And so I went with a guy that me and Caleb did a live stream on for the championship game. And, it's kind of funny that you had mentioned that. I'm pretty sure his name was Colby Ross, and he was a guard off the bench. God, he annoyed the heck out of me. Anyway, Jabari Walker. He was a young man out of Colorado. He played great. Was picked 59th in this year's draft by the Blazers.
Cool stuff about him in the draft video.
Yeah, so Jabari Walker, he shot 62.9% from the field, 42.9 from 3. He's only 19 years old, and overall in the summer league, he averaged 12.5 points, 9 rebounds. And in the championship game, which I kind of highlighted on, he had 14 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 50% from the field, and 40% from 3. And he's a guy that really stole the show for me and Caleb. I mean, we were sitting back, we were like, okay, at the beginning of the game, we were like, who do you think is a weirdo that can almost seal the game for their team? And neither of us really even thought the Trailblazers had a chance. So we were naming off New York Knicks players, but in reality, this kid Jabari Walker came off the bench, and I mean, literally,
once he came in, I think he came out once for like.
I was about to say,
minutes.
Luka Garza didn't see the floor after they put in Jabari Walker. Like, Jabari Walker played almost 30 minutes, and he was off the bench. Didn't come in till like 3 minutes left in the first quarter, and he completely changed the game. I think his plus minus was like plus 12, plus 13, which is really good.
High energy.
10 minutes. I mean, he's long, he's athletic, he has the frame. And I was looking over his college stats, and in year 1. At Colorado, he only averaged about 12 minutes, but he still had 8 points, 4 rebounds. So like he impacts the game no matter if he's out there for 10 minutes or 25, which I think is a huge deal as a rookie coming into the league on a team that may have some open rotational spots in the Blazers. Yeah. So Jabari Walker really just I was really impressed with him, because obviously we all liked the pick. I'm pretty sure in the draft video, me and you, Fred, were like, okay, that's a good value pick. But I don't think we really thought we were going to see a guy that, okay, maybe he could literally find his way into the rotation year 1. So I was really impressed with Jabari Walker.
Yeah, I was a big fan of him. I think that might be a beautiful steal by them. And a guy who can, like you said, play limited minutes and impact a game like that. Because some guys need to play a lot of minutes to get going. He's a guy who can make that instant impact.
He's like he's not small enough to be like a 3, not tall enough to be like a legitimate 4, but he like is quick enough and can shoot. So, I mean, I don't see why there's not a spot for him on the Blazers this year.
It's a perfect opportunity for him to pull.
Yeah. I agree.
What about you, Kevon? What's going next, Mike?
I'll go to the guy. I don't know if it's more or less like, I mean, I thought he played pretty well, but something about this dude I just love. He's built like a tank, just a beast. It's Kenneth Loften Jr.
Yes.
That dude is a dog.
Yes, sir.
I knew it was coming. I knew
somebody would have it on somebody. I put it on my list like, nah.
Yeah. He averaged 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 57% from the field, 30% from 3. So, I mean, you want to see that 30% come up, obviously. But, I mean, you look at him and it's like you think he's going to struggle to get up and down the floor. But, I mean, with the frame he's got and the build he has, he uses that really, really well. And I think it was all over Twitter the night that he was going right at Chet, and like I'm putting his shoulder right in the Chet and getting a bucket. It just stood out. He's a guy that I don't think is going to be like on the Grizzlies roster like for the whole season, but I could see him coming up. Like with Jaren Jackson Jr., he's always got an injury. He's got injury history. You could see him coming up for about like 15 to 40 games throughout the season, playing about 10, 15 minutes. Just doing the dirty work for them.
If anything, to get the energy up in the building, because people love that guy, man. The team loves him. Like, he just plays with such joy out there.
He's got a fun game to watch. Like it's so much like when somebody is so much different because it's like nowadays it's like everybody wants to stand around, dribble, shoot a bunch of threes. That dude wants to get the ball and go right at your chest, and that's
work.
That's what it's what stands out, and so people appreciate stuff that stands out. And I mean, I like his game a lot, and it's somebody. He's a guy that I'm going to be rooting for, no matter if he's in the NBA or the G League. I'm going to try to catch up on him as much as I can. So he's my second guy.
I like it. Little baby Zach Randolph, maybe.
Zebo.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So my second guy is also a second round pick from this year's draft. A guy that me and Troy, and I think even maybe Caleb, were pretty hard on. But, man, he showed in the summer league his game might translate better to the pros. And that was J.D. Davidson at Alabama. The Boston Celtic, man. Averaged 13 points in 5 games, 43% from the field, 47% from three. With 86 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds. Caleb, 8 assists.
Yeah, that's
a steal and a block a game.
That, yeah.
Listen, he's a standout surprise for me, and I'm so hey. If this kid's game translates, some people have better pro careers in college. It is what it is, and I think he might be one of them. This kid's super athletic. The talent's there. Can he put it all together? I don't know. It's just summer league, but it's a standout. I don't know. Maybe he carves himself a roll out in Boston. Who knows?
All I can say about the Celtics summer league roster
is that
A, their team sucked, and B, all they had was shooters. So J.D. Davidson, as a guard with the ball in his hands, a ton. I think me, you, and Caleb all could have had at least 5 or 6 assists on that team. I mean, Matt Ryan shot like 60% from 3. They had Sam Hauser who can absolutely fill it up. And they just have these like the Celtics summer league team is one of the weirdest I've ever watched or seen.
I don't know if it makes all like your point makes a lot of sense where you're going to be surrounded by shooters. And if you look at the Celtics roster, he's never going to be surrounded by shooters. You know what I mean? It's like
he's never going to have the ball in his hands. He has to be.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be a spot up.
He's literally going to be Peyton Pritchard.
This is a standout. He stood out and he shot 47.
No, I agree. I'm just trying. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think I'm trying to figure out how it would.
I'm trying to save you from the hype. I'm trying to save you.
Oh, I'm not on the hype. I'm just saying he stood out. This is a standout list. He stood out.
I can respect that, Fred.
I respect your willingness to go against the grain, if you will. Me and you both hated him in the draft video, and now you're showing some love.
He played well. Back to you,
I reckon.
I hope I can. I hope I can get on your pick here. I hope I just roast.
Well, mine is actually a guy that was picked 40th. He was traded from the Timberwolves to the Hornets. It's a guy that I was extremely high on coming into the draft process, and that is Bryce McGowens. Okay, so what was one thing – I'm going to quiz you guys really quickly, see if you guys can remember about the draft video. What is one thing I warned you about with Bryce McGowens and his shooting splits? Does anybody remember
a ton of shots?
That he had to be Superman. He had to literally rip off his jersey.
They gave him the ball late in the shot clock.
Late in the shot clock, he had to try to create something. So he shot 27.4% from 3 in college. And everybody, all these scouts were like, man, I don't know. This kid has to be able to shoot. This kid, there's no way that's going to translate. He had 4.7 attempts in college, just for a little bit of reference here. Okay, so in summer league, he shot 5.6 attempts. Okay, you're thinking, okay, more attempts. Maybe his percentage is going to go down. No, how about it goes up almost nearly 16%? He shot 42.9% from 3 in summer league. Okay, so this kid, 42.9% from 3 in summer league on 5.6 attempts. Bryce McGowens, man, I told you guys, do not be alarmed by those shooting splits because Fred is a huge shooting split guy. He hands them out to like he
numbers don't lie.
I was about to say we almost like could quiz him and be like, okay, what is this person's shooting split? And he could just be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like here's the shooting split. So I told him, I was like, do not get dismayed by this kid's shooting splits.
I was a fan of the kid. A
little Cornhusker. He's 19 years old. He averaged 14.5 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists. Again, something that I mentioned in the draft video that I would like to see at Summer League was 2.5 assists. I'd like to see that up closer to 4, especially because I mean he creates, man. He gets to his spots. He's been really working on this like in between step back, and it's real smooth. He hit the Cavs with it when in his best game in Summer League. He had about 24 points, had 5 threes. He would hit that little step back. It was so smooth. CJ McCollum was really like, okay, that is an NBA level move. And Bryce McGowens, man, he's long, he's athletic, 6'7" guard, and playing next to guys like LaMelo and Terry Rozier and those types of players that can create for themselves and others. I think it's going to take the pressure off of him. I think he's really going to find and ink in a nice role into Charlotte's rotation and really surprise a lot of people. I love Bryce McGowens. Love watching him play.
It's funny you mentioned him because you said his best game was against the Cavs. You DM me on Instagram when him and my guy Ochai, I can never say his name. You know, Agbaji. Yeah, like he's my next guy. 15 points.
I love it.
5 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 37% from the field, which obviously is a worry. But 37% from the 3 too. So I think the 3, but nonetheless, that game, him and McGowens were going at each other. And I just think this, like, he has an NBA ready body. I think he can play. I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting for the Cavs towards the end of the season. Like, you got to think, like, who's their 3-man right now? Like Lauri Markkanen. Because I mean, he started for
one of those two.
Yeah. So it's like, I could definitely see this guy getting big minutes for the Cavs, has the NBA body, has the skill. And with the ball going to be in Darius Garland's hands a whole lot, and Evan Mobley, like, he's going to be a spot up shooter a lot of the times. And I think he has the capability, especially shooting 37% from 3. Like, I think that's really impressive. But I could see him being a Patrick Williams type, or obviously maybe Patrick Williams isn't the best because, you know, we haven't seen a whole lot of him. But all the hype with Patrick Williams about being an elite defender, I don't see why he couldn't be an elite defender coming into this first year too. So he stood up to me. His body and he just looks so ready to be in the league.
Number 4 on my big board.
You know what you're going to give him. He's going to be a solid pro. Yeah, he's going to be a solid pro.
He's going to be in the league for like 15 years. Oh. And I mean, because there's some guys that were drafted above him that might not even, you know, make it 2-3 years. And this guy is going to be here in the league for a long time.
Yep, I agree.
Who's your guy?
I went with a guy who was a second-round pick last year.
You're going with a lot of old heads.
Yeah, it'll be a theme. I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks second-round pick from last year, Jericho Sims.
Oh, man.
Free. That dude is free.
Oh, my God.
As a closet Knicks fan, listen, dude averaged 12, shot 80% from the field with a high attempt rate, 9 rebounds and a block a game, which I'm surprised just 1 block. That dude is a freak athlete. I think he can carve out really good minutes for the Knicks this year. And I just saw him last year. He was like a baby giraffe running around. You know, he didn't really know his body.
Yeah.
I think once he knows how athletic he is and how to control it, I think this kid's going to be a elite player on the defensive end, offensive rebounds, maybe not a scorer, lob threat, hit, you know, maybe a short corner jumper, but I think this kid's going to be great.
I mean, you can go back and watch the live that me and Troy did. I was like almost getting aroused by this guy. Like, I mean,
dude, he's stupid athletic.
Phenomenal athlete, but like he's got like Dwight Howard shoulders.
Yeah, he's built.
And I mean, he just gets up effortlessly.
Yeah, me and Caleb were literally just like sitting there and we're just like, look at this guy jump. Like, he was just majestic in his movement.
Literally every time he would jump in, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, we were like, holy cow. Like, that dude is like, he just draws your eye and you just won't watch him. And he's just like, he just floats in the air and
he's majestic, bro.
It's beautiful.
The only thing with me for like I'm concerned about is like there's nothing skill wise that stands out though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he's a very raw athlete.
Yeah, it's all athleticism. And I definitely think there's spots in the league for a guy like that, but I just don't. I don't know how many games did he play, Troy? Because you had said something like you didn't think he played that many games, and I pulled it up, and he had played. I want to say like 40
it was like 44. Yeah, I think it was like 44.
But he didn't really average a lot of points.
Games.
He didn't average a lot of points, or nothing really stood out. But it's a guy that if you can get him in a solid developmental system and just work on like certain skills, like finishing around the rim and tough little mid-range stuff like that is a guy that you can see really take a leap out of nowhere and be really, really productive. But I mean, yeah, I could go on about that guy because he is a freak athlete, bro.
I really like the kid. He stood out to me like crazy.
Yeah.
Who's your next guy, Caleb? I'm out of guys. I only did 3. Yeah. So
my last guy that I have stats for, I have 2 guys left, but one of them is just a quick little, is David Roddy. That dude is a tank as well.
I think Fred may have had him.
Did you have him?
No, I didn't. But I did say he's one of my favorite prospects. So I mean, that dude's a freak.
He only 15 points, 5 rebounds, shot 21% from the three.
Right.
Obviously, that's not part of his game, but I thought he ran the floor really, really well. I can't remember who they were playing against, but there was one game where the Grizzlies went on a big run, and it was literally just getting a rebound, taking off, and Roddy or someone else literally just finishing a layup after layup. Like he runs the floor really well, kind of built like Desmond Bane, who also plays for the Grizzlies. So I think if he can get his 3% up, there's definitely.
He shot 44 in college.
Yeah, he was. I was about to say he was a real good shooter in college.
Yeah. So I mean, I think another guy that this is obviously the theme here for me is he's got the NBA build. I think he could. I don't know. Like Loften, I don't think there's a lot of minutes for him on that roster, but I could see him getting called up for 15 to 40 games and making a little bit of an impact here and there, and probably spending a lot of time in the G League getting a lot better. So.
Go ahead and say your next guy, and then I'll finish with my two.
My last guy, I tried finding stats for him. It's so why is it so hard to find summer league stats? Like
you have to go to one thing and literally search through them all. I feel like
it was terrible. And this guy, I watched like 2 or 3 games of his. It was Malik Ellison. This dude was a freak defensively. They were playing the OKC Thunder. He was guarding Josh Giddey, and he was giving Josh Giddey some work. But then, like 3 possessions later, got absolutely postered by Josh Giddey. But I mean, it was filthy. I literally was watching the game, and I'm like watching him, because obviously, like as a basketball fan, you liked it. Like the guys offensively is what stands out. Like I think that's what a lot. Like that's our theme here. Is like we're really picking apart like guys' offensive games, but this dude defensively stood out. I mean, he was a hound. It really made Josh Giddey work hard. He's a guy I don't really think there's going to be any spot for him in the league. He'll probably be a G League guy for the next 5 years, maybe go overseas. But like if we're talking defensively, I think he might have been one of the best defenders in the entire summer league. So I just want to show a little bit of love there.
Yeah,
Fred, go ahead and finish off.
Yeah, I got 2 guys. One for the T-Wolves and one's for the Kings. I'll start with the T-Wolves guy, Kevon Harris out of Stephen F. Austin. 4-year player there, played 5 games in summer league for the T-Wolves, averaged 16 on 58% from the field, 46 from 3, 73 from the free throw line. Guard, super tough. Stephen F. Austin, remember when they had those beautiful runs? So, yeah. So I think, and I've heard talks that they're thinking about signing him, getting him a bench role. That's how much they impressed. So he looked good. And my final guy, Sacramento Kings, Rhoden from Seton Hall. 5 games, 12 points, 45% from the field. 39 from 3, 89% from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, and the biggest stat. What's my favorite stat when it comes to basketball?
Plus mine is
plus mine. He led the summer league outside of one guy. He was plus 17 while he was on the court, and he played a lot of minutes for the Kings. Guy that could score 2 guard, just kind of a weirdo. I want to show him some love. Seton Hall Pirate. Shout out to you, buddy.
Since we're staying on the Kings real quick, that was one of the first games we did live.
I was about to say, yeah.
Do you remember the Keita, the big dude for the Kings? I mean,
oh yeah.
Nothing like skill wise, nothing was like, but how big that dude was, he moved super.
He ended up having some really good splits at the end of it. I looked at his stats. He kind of popped up while I was searching. And I was like, wow,
I don't see why the Kings don't call him. Like, I don't know about a full-time roster spot, but that dude could easily get called up.
That's what I said. Team might be nice.
That's literally what I said. The game, like when we were watching that game live, I was like, this is a dude that might play like 20 to 30 games for them, but like could be like something solid for them in like 15 minutes a night. I liked his game a lot.
Man. Yeah, man.
So we've been talking about players that we enjoyed watching that really stood out to us. So what about the other end? What about some disappointing guys? I know I have one, but we'll lead off with Caleb here. Who's disappointing?
I'll state the obvious here, and it's Johnny Davis. Number 10 pick. Really struggled. 33% from the 3-point line and 28% from the field. I mean, when I was talking about Agbaji earlier, that's a guy that was drafted before him that might struggle to get some minutes in the league. And you try to like give guys some leniency when it's like, playing college, to even playing like guys trying out for a roster spot. Like it's a big difference in pace and literally everything about the game. So you try to give some slack there, but I mean, 33% from the 3 and 28% from the field is, I don't know how you
as a guard that's supposed to be the ho-hum, like supposed to be like a scorer that you're supposed to like rely on to like.
It's a lot at the top 10 pick. Like,
and I mean,
it is summer league, but
the Wizards don't really need, like, look at the Wizards roster right now. They don't really need him to be out there. So it's like, well, especially if he's struggling. Okay, go spend the whole year in the G League. Have fun.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah.
And that check's still gonna hit the same.
I have two guys. If that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a young guy and then a second year guy, of course. I'm gonna start with the second year guy. The Auburn guard Sharife Cooper. I don't know if y'all remember that name, a second round pick from a year ago. Boys,
I didn't know he was playing. I didn't know he was playing.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I literally did not hear anything about him.
He played a lot. 5 games, 21 minutes a game.
Wow.
Guys, he averaged 4 points, guys, on 8 attempts. 19% from the field, 18% from 3.
Yeah, that's really
3 turns a game. I mean, God almighty, throw me out there, I'll make something happen. But, I mean, a guy who they thought was a top recruit. I mean, they spent a second round.
Dude, literally like early last year, he was projected top 10 pick.
Oh, I mean, underperformed 19. Son, you got to put it in the hole. Number 2. A guy awesome. I was not a fan. I thought he should have went back to college. It's a Duke Blue Devil. It's Trevor Keels. Guy played in all 5, 26 minutes a game, 6 points on 27% from the field and 20% from 3, 60 from the line. Did average 5 rebounds, but man, those are some terrible splits. Did not use his minutes well. Didn't even defend well on the little bit of the Knicks I've seen. But
where did he get drafted?
41st.
I guess if in his defense, it's like he's getting drafted late and he's not known as an offensive guy. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, but I mean,
no, I agree. He was not
NBA ready, yeah. and he definitely underperformed. So quick shout out to those two, but two college teams I don't like, but that has no correlation. So
Fred, something tells me Troy's got a hot take waiting for us.
I do have I have such a hot take waiting for you guys. I'm gonna pick a guy that was on Summer League first team.
Oh my God! And I wanted to wait. I would literally have him
might turn. Well, you might. I'm going with a New York Knick again.
Yes,
Quentin Grimes.
Yes,
Quentin Grimes. We were doing whenever we did that championship live. There were many times where not only would he take a dumb shot, but like his team would be on a run, and he would like pull up on a fast break. Like they finally got it to like 8 or 7 and they're just in need of one big score. And then, that other coach is calling a timeout to rally his troops. You just need a big bucket. And I kept saying in the live, they need Quentin Grimes to take over. And Quentin Grimes
I don't know how many times I would pay somebody money to go through and count how many times every time he shot, I'd go, that's such a bad shot.
It was unreal. They would be on a run, bad shot. It was just, he would just pull up in the midst of like 2 defenders and try to shoot over top. But not only that, he shot 17.5 shots per game and only shot 41% from the field, 30% from 3, 68% from the foul line. Going into year 2. So this is not a guy that hasn't played pro basketball. This dude got minutes for the New York Knicks last year. And like, that's big. Like, it's not like he was just playing 10 minutes a night. Like, dude was playing 20, 25 minutes. Like, they were playing him to try to up his trade stock for one Donovan Mitchell. And he goes out there, man, and just, I mean, granted, now he's on first team all summer league. That is sending a terrible message to all sorts of people having him and Cam Thomas on it. I don't care what you think about Cam Thomas.
Cam Thomas was terrible too.
He shot terrible from the field. That's just saying we don't care about your shooting splits. As long as you score and get big points, we don't care. Like, we don't care.
Screaming shooting splits. Why do I listen?
Like they just don't. They shot so inefficient. They shot the ball all the time. And I'm just glad that on the first team they didn't give stinking Jonathan Kuminga, because he was shooting like 20 shots a game too, but he put up like 26 points a night. It seemed.
The other 3 guys definitely deserved it, but then those 2.
Yeah, Quentin Grimes.
Staying on Grimes, there was another second year guard that I'll admit I didn't get to watch a whole lot of them, but Jaden Springer. Like, I don't know his splits off the top of my head, but it's like I thought he played better than Grimes. And
in the championship game, in the biggest game of the summer league, like you're playing for a ring now. All of a sudden, like his plus minus was -5, and it seemed like every time I would look at the box score during the live, he was just negatively impacting the game.
What did he shoot? 2 for 10 from 3.
It was like 2 for 11 or something crazy. Yeah. It's like,
it was
dude,
terrible.
What?
Terrible shot selection. Terrible shot selection every time.
It was awful. So he was by far and away my most disappointing. That's why I only wanted to do one. If I had to do a second, it'd be Cam Thomas.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it, so let's just go ahead and get to it. All Summer League first team: Quentin Grimes and Cam Thomas, Tari Eason, Sandro. Go for it. Mamu Kalashvili. I got it. Mamu Kalashvili.
Woo! Hey!
And the MVP Keegan Murray. Let's just get our thoughts on those 5 right there.
Tari Eason.
I was about to say, I would like to announce. I was very, very negative on Tari Eason. He was, and I don't want to get too high or too low on Summer League, but Tari Eason did show a lot during the Summer League process, and I might be wrong.
That's okay.
Might be wrong.
We've all been wrong before.
But I'll be the first to admit it. But I'm also the first to admit when I'm right. And Keegan Murray, my guy,
he was just dropping. Talk about this, man.
Buckets left and right. I'll get deeper into it whenever we cover the top 5. But I mean, this guy, he's unbelievable. I can't wait to talk about him. He's just unbelievable.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about Cam Thomas is I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Rolling his eyes during an interview about his coach.
That was the like. I tried giving him some like when he was coming into the league. I was like, this might be a good pickup for Brooklyn because you never know like whatever's going on with Kyrie. KD could potentially get hurt, and James Harden, who knows? So this is a guy that can come in and give you some, give you some offense, like give you some offense for like 15 minutes a game, just shoot. But that's all that dude does. That's all that dude does. It's a bunch of shots. It's not the best shot selection, and the interview is what did it for me. And I think that shows when you have 2 veterans in your franchise setting that precedent, it's going to fall. It's going to trickle down to the rookie. And having a bad attitude when you're coached, whatever. I
feel terrible for Steve Nash. He's been set up for failure this entire time. And now, I mean, obviously he's going to get fired, I would assume sooner than later.
He's gone.
And it's just hard with a guy like Cam Thomas. I mean, he was a guy, man, last year, one of my first mock drafts, I had him top 5. Like I thought very, very highly of Cam Thomas.
He's got the skill. I mean, let's be honest.
There's just something about these LSU
he can put the ball in the bucket.
That's why I was out on Tari Eason.
Well, that's diffy right there, son.
That's diffy. Okay, there was a second team as well, and I believe Fred, you have the second team for us.
Caleb does.
Yeah.
Oh, Caleb.
Wait, can I say one more thing about Tari Eason, by the way?
Yeah, go ahead.
And shouts out to Sandro.
Dude, he absolutely. Yeah, he was.
Tari Eason, 17 points, 45 from the field, also 10 rebounds, 2 steals. That's all I'm saying. Dude's a stud. Told you.
Could he be getting a lot more minutes in Milwaukee this year? Because, I mean, you never know with a healthy Brook Lopez.
And they don't have a backup big, I don't think.
And he's, like, cool on TikTok, too. Like, have you all seen? He's, like, goofy. Like, he's real cool with the team. So, I like attitude. I love attitude, effort. I want the guy with the most encouraging words on my team. That should be a stat. Most attaboy. Go ahead. Second team. Here we go.
Second team. Santi Aldama, Bennedict Mathurin, Marcos Simonovic, Trendon Watford, and Lindell Wigginton.
Trendon Watford really impressed me.
Hey, another LSU guy. What's going on, LSU?
Fred, you talked about Lindell earlier. I covered Bennedict. Troy, go ahead on Trendon.
So Trendon during the championship game, man, he just has such a good feel. For everything negative I can say about what Quentin Grimes did for his team, the opposite could be said for Trendon Watford.
Yeah.
He would be the Band-Aid to cover up whenever they started bleeding. He was right. He was like the great mothers in the world that are just right there. They got the little they got the stuff to put over your little scabs, rub it in there, put the alcohol on it, put you a Band-Aid on. He literally halted all the New York Knicks runs. They would just give him the ball. He would face up. He'd go right to work. He took it at Jericho Sims many times and would literally go straight.
He went on a mini run himself in the third quarter.
It was the fourth quarter. He had 11 points.
Was it the
11
fourth?
points? Yeah.
When the Knicks were starting to chip away, he definitely
it got to 7. And then the Knicks had the ball. They couldn't score. I'm sure Quentin Grimes threw up something stupid. And then literally Trendon Watford went on a 7-0 run. And it was with 4 or 5 minutes left. And it just demoralized. And it took the air out of the arena. It took the air out of the Knicks. He was the catalyst for it. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the first and second team. Fred, you got anything on the second team?
No, I mean, it was cool. I think the big standout was a guy I really liked was Bennedict Mathurin. I harped on him big time in the draft video. I thought he was going to be a stud, and I think he's going to be. So
I'm interested to see how he plays
man.
out in Indiana, though, especially with Halliburton.
Him and Tyreek's going to be tough, man. I think that team's going to be. I don't think they'll be a playoff team, but I think they'll be fun to watch.
They'll be a good watch.
They're blacked out in my area, so I won't be able to watch them. But
you got to drive to them.
Hey, X Factor trip to the Pacers, baby. Go to Bankers Live.
I'm down. But yeah, let's transition to the top five. Fred, you got the stats for all top five.
I do.
So why don't we break it down?
I'll break it down each one, and you all give me your thoughts on each prospect. Number one pick, or do you want to go 5-1 or 1-5?
1-5.
1-5. All right, number one pick in the draft. Orlando Magic select Paolo Banchero. In 2 games played, he averaged 20 points, 41 from the field, 50 from 3, 5 boards, 6 assists, 2.5 blocks, and 5 turns. Thoughts on Paolo?
He stood out to me physically. Like, he looked a lot bigger than I remember. I don't know, but like, he looked big out there. Like, he probably definitely wasn't like one of the tallest. Like, he was not the tallest guy out there at all times, but he just looked imposing. And I thought he performed really well in the games he had. Obviously 25 and 6. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I am interested to see though how they fit him into that rotation in Orlando. Obviously he's going to play a lot, but I mean, they really are high on Franz Wagner, and I'm interested to see how those two. I'm interested to see how those two play together. But yeah, Paolo stood out to me. He's a lot. Looks good. Played pretty well too. Troy.
Yeah, I mean, Doris Burke was just, whenever I was watching the highlights, just trying to. I mean, whenever these guys only play 2 games and they're at the beginning of summer league, it can be kind of hard, to remember exactly what happened. But dude, his feel and his finesse and just the way that he manages his frame and his body, like Doris Burke was just harping on his frame. She was like, this guy's frame, and he just uses it so beautifully throughout all instances. And I kind of pointed that out in the draft video. Like, I was like, when I went to Louisville and I was watching him warm up, I'm like, I looked over at my buddy. I said, dude, he is like big compared to what I thought. Like, I did not, like, I expected like 6'7", but he is like 6'10" with a nice build, and he is thick. And it's like, holy cow. Like, everything's there for Paolo. He's an unbelievable talent. He can score all 3 levels, really showcase that in the 2 games that he got. I mean, he dominated Jabari Smith. Like, it wasn't even much of a contest in terms of prospects. And you can see why the Magic ended up choosing Paolo over Jabari Smith Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did the 5 turnovers worry you guys any?
He had the ball. He had the ball a whole lot.
Just trying to do too much sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that.
He's going to be fine. I really enjoyed watching. He's like you all. He's just a physical specimen. I mean, he's unbelievable. Yeah, he's going to be great. Second pick, a guy who's not really a physical specimen, Chet Holmgren.
Oh, he definitely is, but for another reason.
Yeah. So the second pick, of course, the Thunder took Chet Holmgren out of Gonzaga. 3 games played, 12 points, 46 from the field, 43 from 3, 88 from the line, 8 boards, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Thoughts on Chet? Caleb?
Yes.
Go ahead, Dre.
Okay, so something on Chet that I was actually really surprised of is his ability to showcase every aspect of his game without really forcing it too much. Like, whenever it started, like, he obviously performed in the Salt Lake City little summer league before the Vegas one. And obviously the Jazz team was terrible. Like, they were playing terrible big men. But I mean, to come out there and literally set a summer league record in your first game is pretty gnarly whenever you're.
I mean, he was going against Kofi Coburn. I mean, and Kofi Coburn's a big boy
and a great college player. And Taco, who's 7'6", 280. So, like, it's not like he was going against these small dudes, but he was still just able to impact the game. He was able. I love his ability to bring the ball up, to set up the offense, to do things like that. And I was really, really hard on the pick. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me in the terms of, like, what are you trying to build here? But I think him and Josh Giddey are going to be a lot of fun to watch over the next few years. And then you sprinkle in Shea. It's like
probably your best player.
By far your best player. Like, and it's just like with Trey Mann coming off the bench, and I love Trey Mann. Like, him playing off of these, like, athletically gifted and like just great basketball players, and Josh Giddey, who has an amazing feel, Shea, who has an amazing feel. it's just he's going to be set up like beautifully. Like he might shoot like 60% from the field and like 40% from three in his first year. But just his ability to shoot off the bounce, to create off the bounce, was really, really eye-opening to me. I didn't expect it, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I think he's going to they're going to have a weird system in OKC, and I think that's what they want. They're going to have 4 or 5 guys at all times on the floor that can bring the ball up, and they're just going to run and gun. I think
it's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
Just get the rebound, take off, and go. And you definitely saw him be able to run the floor with the ball, be able to defend at the rim. My only question is we saw Loften Jr. go at him. He probably, you guys, I don't even know how tall Kenny Loften is off the top of my head. He's only like, what? Yeah, exactly. And so, he's given up quite a bit of size, but he's able to score around the rim pretty easy. I've played against guys that have like played professionally overseas. I've never played against an NBA player, but I've played against guys that have played high level college basketball, high level overseas. There is a different type of strength to a pro basketball player. And you got to think like Kenny Lofton's not played professionally yet, just a big body. And I think there's a big difference between a big body strength and NBA player strength. So that's my only question. And I think that was everybody's question going in, obviously. So I'm not saying anything that like blows anybody's mind, but it's like when you got to go up against these dudes who are NBA grown men pros, like good luck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because NBA player strength is is tough. So
they don't really have a big body to really hide him under either.
No,
like you are the big body.
Yeah. So I think there's definitely nights where he's going to get 8 up, but there's other nights that he's going to flourish and have 5-6 blocks a game. So, good performance.
Yeah. I really like Chet as a prospect. I think he's going to be just fine. The body is the question, of course.
And number 3, I want you to take this one, Fred, because I know you love your guy Jabari, your number 1 prospect, Jabari Smith Jr. from the Rockets. Now, I'm not going to say anything negative before I hand it over to you, but probably the most underwhelming of the 5.
I was literally going to lead up into that.
Yeah, if you're going to look at the top 5, probably the most underwhelming. But now the ball's in your court. Your number 1 prospect, Jabari Smith Jr.
Yeah, man, played in all 5. 14 points, 38 from the field, 26 from 3, 77 from the line, 9 boards. He did not look comfortable. He did not look comfortable with the ball in his hands. He did not look comfortable away from the ball. And that's a little worrisome. Of course, you take him in a top 5 pick, but it is Summer League, so we'll see but it's again, you ask that question. Yeah, you say it's just Summer League, but what's it going to happen in a real NBA game? Is he going to be more timid? Is he going to be like, oh,
the lights are only brighter?
He just looks he was just under pressure. And I'm like, dude, just relax. Like he needs to figure out what he is. And I think once he gets with Silas and they really work on it, I think he'll be fine. But very underwhelming. I was not impressed, especially in the first game against Paolo. I mean, dude got dominated, plain and simple. Paolo was like, this is why I was number 1 pick, buddy. Go sit down. But I do still think he'll be fine, but maybe just not as immediate as I thought. So he'll be fine. But
I feel like he's just going to be playing 2 different roles though. Like when you get to the Rockets,
he's kind of an unfortunate circumstance too.
The ball is going to be in Jalen Green's hands, and you're just going to have to watch Jalen Green try to go for 40 every night. And you're gonna get your shot, every couple of possessions. But the ball was in his hands a lot, and which is weird because the ball was in his hands a lot in college too. So it's like, how are you not comfortable? But like I said earlier, it's a big difference between college and even the NBA Summer League. So, definitely the most underwhelming of the 5, but nonetheless, I think he has the tools to be solid. I just don't know if it's a good fit in Houston, given what we've seen so far. So,
yeah, no, it's a great take. I'll take this one, of course. Got to lead Troy up into his guy. The 4th pick in the draft, Sacramento Kings with Keegan Murray out of Iowa. He played in 4 games, and I will let Troy go in more about what he did in those 4 games.
Okay, so Keegan Murray, obviously the Summer League MVP, all the love, all the flowers to my guy Keegan Murray. But I kind of wanted to take out this from a different perspective. Whenever everybody was complaining about the pick, and you look over the last few years, what does everybody want in like a top 4 pick? They want the flash. They want the flair. They want Zion. They want Ja. They want Jalen Green to dribble around and try to go get 40. They want these high flyers, windmills between the legs, like these showtime prospects, right? But when the Sacramento Kings took old Keegan Murray, who doesn't do anything great, who isn't flashy, doesn't have the flair. Oh, you had Jaden Ivey right there, Mr. Ja Morant, the next coming of these high athletic, high altitude guards that can just sprint up and down, and they're so fast, they're so quick. But yet Keegan Murray was hated on because he doesn't do all that flashy stuff. He plays the game the right way in every facet of the game. He was top 4 in scoring in the summer league, and unlike the other 4, he was a very efficient basketball player. He shot 40% from 3, 50% from the field, shot 40% from 3 on almost 9 attempts. Like, this dude was not shy. He was going at it. He hit one of the biggest shots in summer league. The Kings were down by 6. They cut it to 3 seconds left. They steal the inbounds, get it out to him against the number 1 pick. He hit one of the biggest shots of the game. Like, Keegan Murray is just a guy that you can rely on for the next 15 years. If Sacramento screws it up, so be it. It's not going to be Keegan's fault. It'll be Sacramento's fault because Keegan Murray is that. Yeah, Keegan Murray's that guy. 23.3 points per game, 7.3 rebounds. He only averaged 2 assists. He had the ball in his hands quite a bit. He played 32 minutes a night in those games. Like, homie was not like I think he sat 1 game, but like unlike most top prospects, he was out there. He was giving it his all. He still averaged 7 boards on 32 minutes. That boy was down there. He was working. I can't say enough about Keegan Murray. I just get tired of everybody complaining about the pick or being like, well, he's not as marquee as some of these other guys. Yeah, so what that he's not this big Showtime, steal delights. Like, he's like the redheaded stepchild of this draft class. Like, nobody was talking like high on him because he wasn't as flashy as maybe Paolo, the big school. Jabari Smith Jr., he can score from anywhere. But then Keegan Murray, what can he do? Like, everything he does it great and does it efficiently and does it well. Like, he's going to be the best player in this class when it's all said and done. 15 years, I want you guys both to come to my house and hand me my flowers. He's going to win the most championships in this class. He's going to have more scoring titles than anybody in there. Like, he's that guy, man. Like, everybody wants these big marquee Zion Williamson number 1 picks, but Keegan Murray are the guys where you feel
make it to the playoffs first.
Did anybody believe that Scotty Barnes was going to be the rookie of the year last year? No, he wasn't a flashy pick. He was some kid. Patrick Williams the same way. He's a nice plug and play guy. He was a number 4 pick. Everybody hated that pick, but now he's going to be a huge part of a playoff contending team in the Bulls. Like, these picks that people just complain about, it's like, dude, there's a bigger picture than trying to just pair up all these high flashy guards and these guys with, I don't know. I'm on my rant. Now I'm off of it. I love Keegan Murray. He's going to be that guy for many, many years in Sacktown. I love him. I can't wait to watch the Kings play. I'm excited to watch the Kings this year. I might even get a King jersey, man. Sacramento, enjoy this guy, man. If you guys screw it up, I hope he comes to LA. But like, he is going to be that guy, and you need to enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy it. Don't say I didn't warn you either.
Not much to add to that. I mean, I thought he looked good. He did. Right. There might have been a couple possessions a game, but like, overall, he wasn't rushed. Like, he knew what he wanted to do. He shot the ball well. He played efficiently.
That's what Greg Anthony kept saying. He's like, he doesn't do, like, he's not going to overwhelm you with quickness. Like, he just is so selective with his spots. Not to compare him to this guy, but like Luka Doncic has that effect, like where it's so, like, he doesn't kill you with quickness. He just gets to his spots. And when he gets to his spots, game over. And that's how I feel about Keegan Murray. If he gets to his spots, best of luck.
And if he's going to shoot the ball that confident, I mean, I don't see why he doesn't fit in really, really well from day one with Sabonis and Fox. But
I love it.
There's not much else to add, like I said.
Fred, you kind of have a weird look on your face. What do you think?
No, I love it, man. I was a fan of the pick, and I just think he's super smooth, and he's gonna give you what he's gonna give you, and it's gonna be beautiful. And I just hope Sacramento just not screw it up. They've got some good pieces. I still felt like
they should be really, really good.
Yeah, they should be good. So we'll see. And then finally, with the 5th pick, Detroit with Jaden Ivey. Only played in 2 games. Got a little nicked up. 15.5 points, 50 from field, 50 from the 3. Didn't miss a free throw, and then 4 assists a game. What are y'all's immediate thoughts on Jaden Ivey?
You can have this one. I just went crazy. I need to relax my.
I'm excited for him and Cade. I don't see why that can't be a dynamic backcourt. Cade's got Fred's not big on Cade, so I can't wait to hear this. But Cade's got the size. Cade's got the size. And I think Cade has all the tools, and I think alongside a guy like Jaden Ivey who's quick and explosive, and it's exciting to watch. I don't see why, if you're Detroit, you're not fiending for these two for the next 10 years, as long as everything works out the way it should. I thought he distributed the ball pretty well. Only 4 assists, but I thought there was a few that one big alley-oop to his name is
Duren.
Yeah, Jalen Duren. I thought that's exciting, and that's something to bring exciting play into Detroit. And if he's willing to pass the ball like that, and willing to be explosive, and willing to also, though, if he's got to be willing to play second hand to Cade, you have to be Cade, you take over. Let me get to my spot when it's needed. But I liked it. I thought all other than Jabari, which there was flashes, I think, of Jabari. All 5 of these guys really, it's a good class. This is a very, very deep and talented class nonetheless. So,
with Jaden Ivey, real quick, the only concern for me is they're kind of doing a little Sacramento King with just stockpiling guards. They have Killian Hayes, who they drafted 2 years
Hayes has been
ago.
a big disappointment, though.
I know, but they still used a pretty high pick on him. I'm pretty sure he was pick number 7.
Oh, no, yeah.
7 or 8.
Kevin O'Connor was real big on him. He thought he was going to be the best prospect in that class. He's just been a big disappointment. So it's if he
now Cade and then Jaden Ivey.
I don't mind it.
I don't either, but I'm a little man, that's a lot of high.
Killian at that point. Oh well.
Yeah. Here you go, Fred. Now you can take it, brother.
Yeah, Jaden Ivey's great. Speed, kills, and he's gonna be great. I'm interested to see how him and Cade intertwine. We'll see. I'm not too big on Cade, but if they had a great draft. I think Jalen Duren was great for that. He's gonna be great for that team. Talk about an NBA body. I think again, all 5 picks were great. I don't know if there's a generational talent in this class. I don't know. There wasn't a can't miss guy. Obviously, as you saw, the floating of the top 3, who knew who's going to go where. So I
agree with you. That's actually a really good take. I agree.
Yeah. So Keegan Murray, MVP. Shouts out to you. And yeah, guys, you got anything else on the summer league?
Sad it's over.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. Doing lives and then being able to do the draft video, and now with this video, I think it was a perfect moment for us to get back into this, and we all focus our energy on this. So it's a lot of fun, man. I'm just excited that we got back after it in time to really dive into this course of prospects, and hopefully over the next couple of years, we'll be able to look back and still be producing content and be able to critique ourselves, reactions to certain things that we said and certain things, and piece these things together and really, really have fun with it. Hopefully we absolutely whiff on a lot, and hopefully we hit home runs on a lot, because that's what makes it fun. And so I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you. Caleb, you good?
I don't want to get emotional. Come on now.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the X Factor Sports Talk. So happy to be able to break down the summer league. We're sad it's over, but now we got to wait till the real thing to start. We're super excited. Can't wait to see what these young guys do. Let us know who we missed in the comments, who you guys thought underperformed, overperformed, stood out, what you all thought of the top 5 picks, what you thought about Keegan Murray. I know he's the hot topic right now. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, don't be a star. Don't be a superstar. Be an X Factor. Change the game. God bless. And peace out.